Indians who believe in secularism, in the constitution, in justice, fairness, have been facing systematic discrimination, prejudice, and violence, despite constitutional protections. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the ruling party have moved to limit freedom of speech for minorities. Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you to discuss a fundamental pillar of democracy, freedom of speech in India, Article 19, and the right to speak against the Indian government. Unfortunately, in recent years, concerns have been raised about the state of freedom of speech in India. Instances of threats and intimidation have emerged, creating an atmosphere of fear and self-censorship. It is vital that we address these concerns and reaffirm our commitment to safeguarding the freedom of expression, particularly when it comes to speaking against the government. Shockingly, there have been a number of instances where individuals speaking against the government have faced backlash, harassment, or even legal repercussions. This stifling of dissent is a matter of concern and goes against the principle of a robust democracy. I wanted to mention few for your awareness. Gauri Lankesh, a fearless women journalist, was assassinated in 2017. Her crime was her commitment to free speech and criticism of right-wing Hindutva extremists, and a scholar who was assassinated earlier in 2015. The Committee to Protect Journalists, an American independent nonprofit, non-governmental organization based in New York City, with correspondents around the world, said that India continues to draw criticism over its treatment of the media. In India, last year alone, 7 journalists were in jail. Asif Sultan, an award-winning Kashmiri journalist, has been jailed in India in 2018. Kapan, a Malayalam freelance journalist, was arrested by the Uttar Pradesh in 2020 when he was on his way to cover the case of alleged gang raping of 19-year-old Dalit women by 4 men considered, I repeat, 4 men considered upper caste in BJP-ruled Uttar Pradesh, India. He was jailed for more than 10 years. Sorry, 2 years that he was in jail for that purpose. 6 out of the 7 jailed journalists were being investigated under or charged under the Anti-Terrorism Law Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. It noted another example of misuse of the laws to suppress dissent. In fact, India's ranking in the 2023 World Press Freedom Index has slipped to 161 out of 180 countries, according to the latest report released by global media watchdog Reporters Without Borders. In 2020, a Supreme Court bench of India, led by former Chief Justice Deepak Mishra, pulled up the BJP-led union government over a number of human rights activists arrested across the country in connection with the Bhima Koregaon incident in Maharashtra. In 2021, a religious assembly was held at Haridwar, India, just to mention, where hate speeches were delivered in which the speakers called for a genocide against Muslims in the name of protecting Hinduism. There are a lot of similar incidents that I can mention here where the BJP leaders delivered hate speeches to provoke the citizens against minorities, and no action were taken. On the contrary, they get all the support of the party and the prime minister, get all the favorable attention and the better positions. I will emphasize again, freedom of expression is practiced very selectively in India. All dissent is crushed by unlawful restrictions of peaceful protest, and all critics are silenced. Attempts to suppress the media, harassment of opponents and minorities, manipulation of the justice system, educational revisionism, Modi's record speaks for itself. This makes it more regrettable that countries that claim to defend democratic values prefer to remain silent, so as not to upset a regime that is asserting itself in the new global geopolitical order. On behalf of International Council of Indian Muslims, I would like to thank the International Humanitarian Society of Development Without Borders for bringing out this session. We request the United Nations Human Rights Council to closely monitor, please closely monitor the human rights situation in India, including issues related to minority communities. We request international organizations to raise human rights issues in India within international forums, such as to get actions on the human rights violations against minorities in India. International Council of Indian Muslims hopes the data, facts, and the personal testimonies reaches people of conscience and policymakers beyond these UN buildings. It is crucial for concerned individuals, civil society, and the media to collaborate with these organizations to amplify their efforts and advocate for human rights protection in India. I rest myself. Thank you, everybody.